Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is mentor Faiza Shaikh and you are watching my videos. I am very happy and very thankful all of those students they are taking interest in the English literature. I know it is very vast literature, okay, and very famous, dominant in all over the world. So here discuss the Puritan age poetry. We have discussed the one part of the poetry of Puritan age, but here in this video going to discuss the second part of the Puritan age poetry too. So basically this era belonged to the John Milton belonged to the 1608 till 1674. First of all, we will discuss the life of the John Miltons. Basically, Milton's father was a Puritan but was lover of art and literature, and beside was noted musician. Young Milton inherited these things from his father. Milton was known as the Lady of the Christ because of his personal beauty. Following here and our modest of the aloofness. Being a rebellious temper, he was in trouble with the authorities over the curriculums and was rusticated from the time. He composed a certain Latin and Italian poems of the Cambridge. He refused to be the ordinate, a minister of the Church of England, which was for him a kind of the mental slavery. He wanted to the free. So he went to live at Houghton near London. While he was a tour of the continent, he received a disturbing news about the struggle between king and parliament, due to which decided to go back home in order to join fellow citizens and who were fighting for liberty. During 20 years, 1640 to till 1660, he was a journalist writing prose pamphlets. So talk about in 1643, he married Mary Powell, but married life was unhappy for him because mental and philosophical difference is both has got different ideas regarding secularisms and Puritanisms, and at last the left him. He wrote to change divorced laws, but that did not happen. Milton became totally blind in 1652 but he continued to work with the help of the assistant Andrew Marvell and others. With the return of the monarchy, Milton lost his post and was arrested. He became freed by some influential friends. He was very dominated and very successful at that time. So he wrote Gignatic Paradise Lost after getting blind, which was completed in 1667. His Paradise Regained and Samson's Agonisters were written together in 1671. मिल्टन्स वर्क की बात करते हैं तो मिल्टन्स वर्क्स फॉल इनटू 4 वेल मार्क पीरियड, द कैम्ब्रिज पीरियड till 1632. During this period, he wrote many Latin and Italian poems, which are read now after translations. These show his immature genius. Most famous of these in Ode on Christ's Nativity. Houghton period 1632 till 1638. In this period, he wrote 4 most delightful pieces of this poetry: Allegro and 2 Penseroso with poems. Commerce Lacides. Basically, Allegro and the second Penseroso, the twin poems which are Italian in the title but English in the spirit. They present contrasted pictures of the scholarly Milton. He is joyous and happy in the Allegro. He spies castle and takes delightful theatres, while he He is serious and grievous in the second Penseroso. As he goes to play house, but to is the tragedy. Commerce, it is the masked dramatist composition, usually in the poetry, which was presented in the honor of the Earl of the Bridge, water on his appointment as the governor of Wales. The title of misleading is a commerce is villain of it, not the hero. The dramatic element in this masque is subordinate to spectacle and music. It is dedicated piece of the celebrating the triumph of the virtue, especially classified. The story begins with a lady and her two brothers lost their way in the forest at night and they fall into trap of the commerce. A pagan god invented by the Milton, the son of the Cyrus, the inhastress, and because the god of the winner. The lady who is armed with the chastity successfully resists. So this is all about the commerce, and now is the Lacydes. Basically, Lacydes, it is an elegy of his fellow student Edward King, who was drawn on his way to Ireland. The poem is giving to traditional pastoral, from to which one shepherd mourns to death of the other. In the poem, Milton expresses his anger and disgust against corrupt clergy. The greatness of the poem lies neither in its grief, which is mild, nor it is the autography, which is incidental, but in its unique melody. Tennyson remarked, Lacydes is the touchstone of the poetic text. The journalistic period of the 1640 plus 1600 anger and disgust against corrupt clergy. The greatness of the poem lies neither in its grief, which is mild, nor it is the autography, which is incidental, but in its unique melody. Tennyson remarked, Lacydes is the touchstone of the poetic text. The journalistic period of the 1640 plus 1660. These periods includes prose, pamphlets, and few sonnets. The most sonnets are Italian, in form of the occasionals in the subject. Milton's sonnets are not love sonnets, but individual sonnets. Wordsworth said the sonnet in Milton's it is because of the trumpet. The last period, basically in this period when he was completely blind, he wrote 3 poems: The Paradise Lost, The Paradise Regained, Samson Agonistus. So here discuss the Paradise Lost in this greatest epic in English language, unsurpassed for its sublimity of thoughts and sustained grandeur of style and diction. It was originally published in 1667 in 10 books, with a total of over 10,000 individual lines of verses. A second edition followed in 1674, changed into the 12 books in the manner of the division. Virgil's Aeneid with the minor revisions throughout the note on the versification. The poem concerns the biblical story of the fall of the man, the temptations of the Adam and Eve by the fallen angel and Satan, and their expulsion from the Garden of the Eden too. So this is about of the Paradise Lost. Basically, in this poem, Milton's purpose, stated in the book 1, is to justify the ways of the God to man. The organ music of it is due to its blank verse. Blank verse was used to dramatic expressions by Milton, involved it in such an effective way in the poetry that later on it became normal vehicles of seriously poetry. After blank verse, the importance is of these dictions, his choice of high sounding and musical words. Despite its greatness, it is titled it because of the many reasons. First of the very theme of the poems, the fall of the man is not inviting. Second is dogmatic. Theory is out of the date. The belief presented in the poems are already accepted by the Christians, so Milton couldn't provide anything novel and fresh to the reading in it. Milton involves himself in so many contradictions and inconsistencies which are the ridiculous, like there should be the war between God and his angels, and when he says that you could smash his opponents in the twinkling of an eye, should have a make an anxious preparation to meet enemies challenge. Then he argued God was the solicitous for his new creation man, but why did he suffer the devil tempt and then the punishment and his descendants? The questions regarding the hero of the poems detectable, and since Milton unconsciously makes Satan its hero, truth is that Milton's found in Satan the arch rebel, an ideal mouthpiece, revolutionary spirit. Quite unconsciously, God was to him and tyrannically knight, the King Edward, whom he himself raised the standards of the revolt. So, Paradise Re-Again, this title poem believed to have been written as a secular and literary work. So, Samson Agonist, it appeared in same volume with the Paradise Re-Again. It is tragedy on the Greek model of Sophocles and the Aeschylus. The classical unities are strictly observed in it. The poem talk about the last part of life of the Samson, the athlete of the wrestler who was an Israel's of the hero. So in this poem, it is very one of the biggest one and dominant. So in the last I will discuss the characteristics of the poem of the Milton's. Basically, Milton's combined in himself two conflicting culture, humanism and Puritanism. As a humanist scholar, he was lover of the Hellenic art and the beauty, and as a Puritan, he was fired with the religion zeal of a Hebrew prophet. These two cultures are incompatible and hard to reconcile. Most striking quality of his poetry is to sublimity, which came to known as the Milton. He is sublime both in thought and style. He is acknowledged the master of the what Matthew Arnold called the grand style. He is the most egoistic of the poets and without trace of the humor. It is Milton himself who is reflected in all his poems too. So this is all about the second part of the poetry of Milton's. Maybe you have been understood, and because these are the silent features of the Milton poetries. So in this poetry he is discussed the humanism and the Puritanism. These are very best and wonderful culture. So inshallah, I hopefully you have been understood. In the next video we will discuss the prose of the John Milton's era. So in the last I would like to see all of them. They are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting. I am very thankful all of them. So once again I will say I would like to see all of them. Please, these videos are very informative and knowledgeable too. So like, subscribe and share all of them. So इजाज़त दीजिए, अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.